right. That was Like That by me, your boy KB, and Rand Dizzle. That is on all streaming platforms, so you could guys go download that today. But let's get into the podcast. So today we're going to be talking about, it's a neat little channel I found. I think I might subscribe and react to the videos. Um, so today we're going to be talking about a a guy who overheard his wife talking about him, and I thought it was a very good story to react to. Why? Because I feel like this is the case with a lot of men, and we'll break it down to make sense of it. Um, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna play it, and then while we're playing it, we will react to it live. Let's get into it.
Exactly what the title says. I overheard my wife talking to one of her best friends on the phone while I was passing the bedroom. This friend is in a serious relationship. My wife then said to her, "Sweetie, remember it's your choice. Don't settle for just anyone. That's the mistake I made. Who knows who else I could have had? My name was my very last resort, and now look where it made me end up." Hearing that honestly broke my heart in two. Does she even love me? Why am I being treated as a second base? Am I being dramatic and overreacting? I haven't said anything about it since. I honestly don't know what to do, but hearing her say has made me upset. Update, just did one of the hardest.
Okay. So this poor fella overheard his wife talking, right? He overheard his wife talking, and she basically was talking on the phone, and she said that she settled. She felt as if she settled and she could have did better. Now, you'll find this in a lot of women. A lot of women do really believe that they are worth more than what they actually are. A lot of women believe this. Not all. A lot of women do. And you can see it. It's really evident how, the statistics say that 80% of women want like 15 to 20% of men, right? They want men who are high earners. They want men that are like probably really look great. Like, they want them 6 feet or taller. Uh, they just have these very high circumstances. But the guys that they want fall into a small percentage of men. So, with that being said, a lot of women are going to settle. Not everybody's going to end up with an NBA player. Not everybody's going to end up with a guy who's 6 feet or taller, because that's not the average height, especially in the United States. United States, the average height is like 5'7" or 5'8", right? That's the average height. And you'll see that a lot of women are settling. And another clear evidence that a lot of women are settling or feel as if they are settling is the divorce rates. I just did a podcast yesterday, day before yesterday, on why so many married women are cheating. That gets down to dynamics. Now, if your dynamics were right, you could also fix this situation to where she doesn't feel as if she is settling. Number two, not only are a lot of married women cheating, divorce rates are high. I give the statistic like almost every time I do a podcast. You guys should know it by now, right? 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by who? The woman. So when you hear this guy say that he overheard his wife saying, "Oh, I overheard my wife saying that she settled and she made a mistake because she felt as if she could have did better." And aside from that, we know that nowadays that the women nowadays are delusional, right? Not all, but some. How do we know they're delusional? Because you'll see women on TikTok like that'd be like considered morbidly obese. And now some girls that are overweight, this is what I disagree with Kevin Samuels with, right? Because some girls that are overweight, and by the book, they technically are, right? But they look good. Like their bodies thick, especially some thick girls, like just really thick in all the right places. She has a flat stomach. Even if she has like just a little bit of stomach, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. So she still looks good. And the thing is, it's like, okay, well, I disagree on that because I know girls. I've dated girls. I like thick girls, who are considered to be overweight. And they're considered to be overweight, and they look great. But then on the other hand, you have some women who are morbidly obese that look absolutely disgusting. and they have the nerve to get on Instagram, or even some girls that are just not that cute. They're just you know, just like, you know, dust bunnies. They're just really not good looking, really ugly, blatantly straight up ugly, right? And what you'll see is and they'll post some posts and looking on confident and talking confident, and they'll have women in their comments hyping them up, gassing them up, right? But that doesn't change the fact that this woman isn't attractive. And if somebody calls them out on it, they'll be like, oh, you're giving me insecure vibes. They want to attack the man for being honest. But I mean, he could have kept the comment to himself, because if you don't have nothing nice to say, you should just keep it to yourself, right? Unless you're giving constructive criticism. But the thing is, and then when somebody calls it for what it is, he's an asshole, he's being mean, oh, don't listen to him. No, but that's the reality of it. You don't look good. You look nasty, right? You need to lose weight. And it's not good, because you have all these women lying to them and telling them that they actually look better than what they do. And they're not helping them. They're not bettering them. And telling them, girl, get in the gym and look even better to make yourself even better. No, oh, you look good, girl. There's somebody for everybody. No, stop giving people these lies. When she can get her shit together, she can lose weight, get in the gym, and actually get a man who she thinks she deserves. You think you look good now? Imagine if you lost 200 pounds. You can't even sit on your man's lap. He has to sit on yours for weight distribution. It only makes sense, right? So my point is, in saying all of that, is the delusion is at an all-time high. So with the delusion at being at an all-time high, you have a lot of women are going to settle, or they're going to think that they're settling. Why? Because their standards, women's standards, are really high. And that's a clear indicator right there. Women's standards are really high. The sixes nowadays think they're tens, because the result of social media. I told you, I was messing with a girl who was about a 6. Oh, maybe a few years back. And I went on her phone, I went in her Tinder. She literally had 2,000 messages. And this is probably one of the I want to say the ugliest, but one of the, one of the B-side girls that I used to talk to. Not the so good looking girls. And she had 2,000 messages. So imagine if, her confidence was inflated. Right? So now you have a lot of women who have this delusion, who think they have more options than what they really do. They think they actually look better than what they really do, until an actual 9 or 10 comes in their face. Hey, yo, actually shows up in their face, and they see the actual difference. But imagine the 8, 9s, and 10s. They don't even talk to guys like that unless they've been with that guy beforehand, and they just a very high quality female, right? Who just loves her man and can't be bought. These women are delusional, so a lot of them are going to think that they're actually settling. A lot of them are going to think that they're actually settling, and a lot of them are going to, believe that they want more. And, statistics tell you that, a lot of these women want higher earning men. That's what sociologists are saying, right? Even since the 70s. So I forgot there's a black sociologist amongst the black community who was saying that women want a man that are high earners. They don't want regular workers. And it only makes sense because it plays on that hypergamy. So a lot of women, a lot of you motherfuckers are actually in this situation. A lot of you guys are in this situation where you are actually settling. Well, your girl feels like she's settling. And especially guys who don't even know about the matrix. They're not even in it. And they're actually in the beta pill matrix, right? They haven't taken the red pill yet. So they don't even understand that this element exists. Oh, my girlfriend loves me. Yeah, you probably got to beg for sex. You got to do all these things, right? And then what happens? They end up leaving anyway, because a lot of these women are running the relationship. They're running them. They're not really all that attracted to them, right? And to be fair, to let you guys know, you can change that around. You don't have to be the best looking guy to convey higher value. Your attitude, how you conduct yourself, how you portray yourself. Ugly guys are high value. Look at Jay-Z. He knows he's not the best looking guy, but ain't no such thing as an ugly billionaire. I'm cute. Remember what he said? Ain't no such thing. He's damn right. He can have just about anybody he wants. Who's turning down a billionaire? Bitch, I'll change your life. And it won't even pinch my wealth. Right? An ugly guy can get himself together easy. Even if you're the ugliest guy, right? Get your money up. Once you get your money up, you start dressing nice, conducting yourself nice, and conduct yourself like you a 10 in looks. They will treat you as such. They will treat you as such. So let's say if you're medium in looks, and but you got some money, or even you don't have the most money. Say if you have a decent salary job making 50, 60K a year, a little bit above average, but you dress immaculately. You have a decent car. You have your own place, maybe a house. And you conduct yourself as if you're giving her a favor. You conduct yourself as if you're doing her a favor by allowing her to be with you. I promise you, she will not feel as if she's settling. Obviously, that requires having a little game. This is why I tell everybody to be subscribed to the podcast. This is why I tell everybody to be subscribed to Patreon. Learn these games, learn these little techniques to make it seem as if you're doing her a favor, not the other way around. But the problem is, if you don't understand that these elements and this whole element of a relationships exist, then you're going to be in a made-up matrix, and you're going to what? You're going to be like happy wife, happy life. Oh, my wife is the boss. She runs things. But I just did the podcast yesterday, right? On talking about why so many married women are cheating. Because they think they want to run a relationship. So they're running the relationship. They emasculate their man. They allow the disrespect. Their man allows them to talk to them any type of way. And they just let the woman lead. And now she's in an uncomfortable position because she doesn't want to lead. She wants to be dominated. She wants an alpha. Now she's talking about where the real men at. Because she's emasculating him and talking to him crazy. And she's just doing whatever he wants with no consequences. Not to say you can never change that situation around, but it takes some really drastic change in consistency. But this is why women are cheating. Because you think that's okay. It's not okay. And that's not what they want. And most of all, it's the respect. You're being emasculated. You letting her talk to you in type of way. You letting her call you names. You're letting her disrespect you. We already know how I feel about the disrespect. You check them. But women, they feel as if they're settling. And how you conduct yourself with your dynamics in that relationship, they feel as if they're even more settling. You're confirming what they believe even more. But let's get back into what this guy has to say about his personal situation.
Things I've ever had to do. Today after breakfast, I told her we should sit down and talk. She was hesitant, but I said it was important. We went to the living room and she said to me, I already know what this is about. My post made it to the front page, so of course, she saw it after scrolling down a bit under popular. Of course, the waterworks started happening right away. I told her what she said had deeply hurt me, but obviously, she already knew that since she read my post. Through her tears, she said, I was just joking, I wasn't serious. She then went on saying stuff like, I love you, I love you. I told her I can't be in a marriage where my significant other doesn't love me the same way I love them. She tried to tell me that she loved me and that I meant something to her. But it was all bullshit. She said she didn't want to lose me. I told her I don't think this marriage was the right decision. And from there I told her it was over.
Now, he made the right decision because I would have did the same thing. But that's never happened to me. Because whenever I get in a situation with a female, I feel as if I'm doing her a favor. In most cases, I am, with the type of value that I bring. Not just money, not just sex. No. I know for my age, for 29 and 28-year-old, doesn't matter. I'm very wise. In most situations, I'm leading these girls like their father. Matter of fact, better than their father, which is why they call me daddy. Some humor for you, but I'm being very serious. They just don't make great decisions, so I know what I have to offer. Some girls never get to see that level. Why? Because they don't last long enough. Because I know how to filter them out. But my point is, he made the right decision. He made the right decision. But in this moment where he finally stood up for himself and left her because she felt as if she was settling, that's a major power play. Now, if he didn't want to leave her and he decided to step out and start cheating on her, those dynamics would change automatically. Why? Because for once, he's showing strength. He's showing his value, right? You feel as if you're settling for me. Now she left him because no, I want somebody who actually cares for me. I want somebody who actually loves me. Now he did the right thing, but if he wanted to stay, he could have changed that situation around. But I get it. He probably wasn't attracted to her at that point. He probably didn't want to be with her at that point. And he ultimately did the right thing. He ultimately did. But if he were to stay, she would have been slobbing on that knob every single night. She would have been trying so hard. She would have made more effort than she ever did. But he would have had to stay consistent. He would have had to have started treating her like the dirt on the bottom of his shoe. And then maybe over some time, some years, maybe soften up. Those dynamics would have changed, and she would have changed her thoughts about him. She would have never felt, because finally, for once, which is ultimately too late, he's standing up for himself. He's showing his actual value. He's portraying a level of strength that she's never even seen, that she's never even knew was possible in him. Now, she probably doesn't regret it, but she regret that she got heard on the phone saying that to her friend, that she made a mistake and settled for him. But when you shock and awe and you do things like this is a perfect segue into what I call a reset. This is a perfect segue for what I call a reset. Now, if you don't know what a reset is, subscribe to Patreon. That's on there. It's a pretty long video. And during that reset, this is perfect. But the way he had his whole marriage set up was perfect because he didn't really lose much. But let's continue.
I told her I knew how she felt about me, and that it was fucked up how she played with my emotions. For all those wondering, we have no kids, and I pay fully for the apartment we live in, and I own almost everything we have other than her clothes. I even pay for her car. So after all of this, she'll have little to nothing left. Before our marriage, we agreed to sign a prenup, and at that moment, I've never been so happy with the decision I've made in my life. After that, it was a few seconds of awkward silence before she said to me, "Fuck you." She started screaming at me, telling me you just can't end things like that. I told her I could do whatever I wanted, and that's when she became very hostile. She screamed at me saying, "You're the fucking worst relationship I've ever been in. You think I can't find someone again? Do you think you'll ever from someone as good as me? You're a fucking idiot, my name." She grabbed her bag and...
Look at that. Them true colors came out, huh? Because she knew she couldn't win now. But isn't it ironic? The worst relationship you had, and he broke up with you. Ain't that funny?
Phone and said, "I'm leaving," before slamming the door behind her. At that moment, I felt like I was on one of those dramatic sitcoms you'd find on TV. I sat down on the couch and cried, and I'm still crying as I type this up. It's both happy and sad tears, and I knew it was only time before she cheated on me or left me. She never loved me, it was obvious. Our relationship only went one way, and I feel like a complete idiot for not seeing it earlier. I live in California, and I'm gonna start the process to annul our marriage. Tomorrow, I'm gonna start throwing all of her belongings into trash bags, cause that's essentially where they belong. I'm not throwing out her stuff. Just use the trash bags as a way to give her back the things she owns. Thank you from the bottom.
So he said two things. He said their relationship was one-sided. He said that the only thing that she owned was her clothes. He paid for everything. And he was too blind to see it. So if you're in a situation like that, your girlfriend might have settled for you. You need to understand what's going on. And it's okay to pay for most things. But it's how she treats you. Does she buy you anything? Does she buy you gifts? Is she submissive? Is she happy to see you? But he's so blind to it all, he don't even know what love is. And he probably will run into that issue again. He said things were one-sided. You got to listen to the little things. This is why it's so easy to pick up on situations when I do private consultations, right? He said the relationship was one-sided. It was one-sided, and he was too blind to see. He paid for everything. He even paid for her car. He even paid for her car. She has to give that back to him. And he signed a prenup, so he's going to get everything back. He really didn't have anything to lose. That was almost a perfect situation. They didn't have any kids either. Yeah, he was married and he was crying, but he did the right thing. But that goes to show you, if the relationship is one-sided, if you're always begging to make love to her, you're begging to see her, you're begging for all these things, that's not how a relationship should be. Luckily for him, he had a prenup, but she probably signed it thinking that maybe she was going to win up or on him. But she left literally with not a pot to piss in. Nothing. Thinking that she settled when she actually failed. She made the mistake. Let him hear that shit. Right? And I can go to show you that if she felt that way, he's taking care of all the bills. She don't do nothing. She probably don't even cook. And he probably lucky and even happy to probably even make love to her once in a while. But see, guys don't understand those dynamics. But it sucks that he had to come to this realization this way by overhearing her. But the thing is, you have to understand is most guys never come to this realization. They just, and he said she probably would have cheated on him, and she probably would have. She probably would have cheated on him, and that's probably how it would have gone. She probably would have ended up cheating on him. Talking about, I regret my decision. I definitely settled for him. I made the mistake. Look who I could have ended up with. We already talked about why a lot of married women are cheating. She already said it herself. And it was one-sided. So, yeah, she probably would have cheated on him. So he did the right thing. But think about all the guys who in these situations and they can't, and they don't know they don't even know it exists. They don't know. They're probably getting cheated on. But the only thing is, the girl probably is a straight up loser. He probably takes care of everything, and if he leaves her, she'll have nothing. Even if they do have a proper divorce, he'll probably still have nothing. You guys need to wisen up, man. I promise you, I get married. I ain't get married by the law. She ain't getting shit from me. And even if I do, I'm savvy with it. My salary gonna be $30K a year. What's she gonna get from me? I'm smart. Little keyword, little sauce for you guys. When you own a corporation, you can make yourself an employee and give yourself $30K a month. That bitch ain't getting shit. Corporation, okay, the corporation under my name. I'll make my brother or my sister or my mother a CEO. What you think you getting? Nada. Zilch. Fuck is you talking about? Make sure everything is in place, baby. I'm too smart. That's a crazy situation. crazy situation. But I just thought it was a really interesting video to react to, because a lot of guys are in these situations and you don't know it. And it makes sense. It makes so much sense. And obviously it's a real situation. But guys, this is why you need to understand relationship dynamics. This is why you need to understand who you're dealing with. This is why you need to understand women. This is why you need to understand women. This is why you need to be subscribed to the podcast. This is why you need to be subscribed to Patreon. So when you decide to get married and you understand what you're seeing, you understand the situations that you're in, you can learn from other people's wisdom so you don't make the same mistakes that they do. Implement what the successful people are doing. I listened to a audio by Tony Robbins, and he said, how do you get rich? How do you get rich? You implement what the successful people are already doing. That's what you do. So people that are having success in relationship, my problem is the total opposite now. I got too many of them, and they ain't going nowhere. And I tell them, and I tell girls, at one point in time, I had an 8-girl rotation. I tell them, listen, I talk to someone else. I talk to someone else. Then they say, okay, well, that's fine. Well, we're not serious yet. We'll get serious down the line. Obviously, there's a little more game that goes into it that I'm not telling you guys that you need to join Patreon to understand. But and then they fucking end up like falling from me, all of them. Maybe one or two, three the most might fall off, but that's still like 6 girls madly crazy about me. My problem is the opposite now. I need a bat to keep them off. I'm gonna start putting my ring on my fucking ring finger, So it's the opposite now. You guys need to learn this shit. Subscribe to Patreon. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to YouTube. Book a private consultation. All right. Well, we're going to end this podcast off. If you guys want to book a private consultation, text 516-500-7906. If you like these shades, the fisherman glasses, hit the link in the bio, or you could just go to fishermancentral.com, buy yours today. Support a brother's business. Black owned, baby. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to end this one off. Thank you, guys. We're on season 3, our 3rd year consecutively with the podcast. Let's get it going. 2022 is going to be an amazing year.